Hey guys, I know this is late, but I did say that I would do some type of bonus weekly roundup video due to it being my channel's 5-year anniversary weekend last weekend. Unfortunately, I've had some stuff come up this week where I have not had much time in terms of sitting down and filming videos. So I did say that I would do a weekly roundup, and I'd rather do this 5 days late than not do one at all. So there is enough stuff that I can talk about in this video that I can do about 10 to 15 minutes in this video, and then on Sunday I will sit down and film an additional weekly roundup video. It will be branded as a bi-weekly roundup video, but anyway, it is what it is. After this Sunday, though, I will be going back to doing a bi-weekly roundup format again for the short term. If things are going well in multiple leagues, do expect me to probably make some type of announcement. I might even do a short announcement video where I say, hey, starting on this Sunday or whatever, I will go back to doing weekly roundups again. So we will have to wait and see on that one. But if we start having some issues with coronavirus and we start having more COVID-19 infections and people in the different sports start getting it on top of Major League Baseball, then it's basically I'll play it by how it goes type of scenario, or I'll play it by ear. Anyway, you get my point. So we will see how things go. Hopefully it's going to be good. Hopefully we will be able to go back to doing weekly roundups as soon as next month. But I'm cautiously optimistic though, guys. That's how I feel on that. So obviously we'll wait and see. So basically this video I intend to keep short, but this is also my very first roundup video as Rockzilla. And finally, this is my first one being Rockzilla instead of the Rockzilla 94. So this is a little bit of a special video for that reason, at least in my view. So looking at the past week, what is the one thing that has been really great in my opinion has been the return of the NHL. Seeing the qualifying round, seeing the games, seeing the different start times throughout the day, it has been a real treat to watch, especially with what we've had to deal with COVID-19. You know, I'm already seeing a major improvement amongst sports fans I know in terms of their mood. People just seem happier. It's great. The excitement and the talk about hockey again. I know it's August. August is a weird time to be talking about hockey, let alone watching it. But under the circumstances, the fact that the NHL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and Major League Soccer have tried to restart their seasons, I do find that commendable. And I do think that is something that is really awesome. And hopefully all of the leagues can successfully play on without COVID-19 ruining their seasons. However, excellent timing in terms of a segue into what I would like to discuss next, and that's Major League Baseball. So, in my opinion, Major League Baseball has made a very poor choice not playing in a couple of hubs. Big mistake, in my opinion. In my personal opinion, I think they should have had a hub in somewhere like Arizona and a hub in Florida, some type of bubble, where all of the American League's teams are in one bubble and the National League teams are in another. That's what I would do. I would not have any interleague play this year. I would have had the two leagues have an old school retro type season with no interleague play. And truth is, I think interleague play is awesome. It's nice to see everybody get to play each other once in a while. I prefer that. You know, do I think there could be one day where it's more like an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference? Do I think that would maybe be a good idea? Well, the thing is, baseball has such a long storied tradition with having two leagues in a league type thing with the National League and the American League. You know, I think it's fine and has worked fine for so long the way it is. And, you know, do I think it would be cool if teams could play teams in the other league a little bit more from time to time? Sure. But I'm not against them leaving it the way it is. Because I think there's some things, you know, the two leagues in Major League Baseball, the American League and the National League, are long-established traditions in baseball. They're long-established in baseball. And to change it after all these years, when the current system I think is fine and dandy as is, I don't think they should. But, you know, I do think that right now, with a shortened 60-game regular season, personally, I think that Major League Baseball's made a bad judgment call. Because I think that baseball needed to have two hubs, one for each league, the National League and the American League. And I think that their decision to have the teams go from city to city and play in their ballparks without fans, in my opinion, so far, it has been a mistake. I'm hoping that Major League Baseball proves me wrong and they can make this work successfully. That's what I'm hoping for, because I'm hoping that the NFL can still do their 2020 season. And I'm hoping that Major League Soccer can also resume their 2020 season. Because what they've been doing with the MLS's back tournament is that basically whoever wins the tournament is the team that gets to go and play in the CONCACAF Champions League. Or I think that's a massive tournament where if you get in, basically if you go far enough, you're playing in the CONCACAF Club World Cup, where all the best clubs in the world in terms of playing in the CONCACAF league go on and play for a world champion, which that's different. It's a lot of stuff that I have trouble following, I'm not gonna lie, but it's actually a cool idea. Now, do I like that teams have to leave their right in the middle of their seasons to go play somewhere else? I'm not a total lover of that, because that could, you know, they go to somewhere else and the time zone throws them off, they lose a game, then they come back and then they get sloppy and a player is not as well rested and maybe they get injured. As, you know, as a sports fan, I know I wouldn't like that for my teams, that's for sure. You know, if you do something at the beginning of a regular season where, like you say, you do what the NHL does sometimes and you have a game or two in Europe to start the season, well, you've got a whole season ahead of you to regain your circadian rhythm, or your clock, your personal mental clock with bedtimes and wake-up times and all of that jazz. So, you know, I think it's, in that case, you know, that's fine. But when I see teams like in Major League Soccer, for example, where sometimes in the middle of the season they'll say a team like LAFC has to go to, I don't know, Mexico to play a team there for the CONCACAF Championship. Well, I don't know how I feel about that. Now, if you're a soccer fan, you might have a different opinion than me on that. But personally, I like it when a league just plays within its league for the entire season. And if you want to do something outside of that, do it outside of the season. But obviously, there's so many different soccer leagues all over the world, and I don't know which ones start here or there, so I don't know. It's probably better if they just leave things the way it is. I don't know much about soccer, and I don't know enough to really have an informed opinion on it, but that's just kind of what I think. Anyway, but yeah, with Major League Soccer, I just don't think that, personally, I wouldn't want my team traveling to Europe for, say, 3 weeks to participate in some tournament, to come back and try and compete in a Major League Soccer season, and then the players are all rusty, their time clocks are thrown off, they're not playing as well, and they possibly get injured. That stinks. Or they go somewhere else to play in this tournament and they get injured, and then your team sucks for the rest of the year. It could be opening a can of worms. That's all I'm trying to say. But with baseball, I do hope that they clamp down and can do enough to finish the 2020 season. I mean, are they going to have to disqualify some teams if COVID-19 is affecting them too much? I don't know. Time will tell. But, this whole thing with baseball, I think, was a poor choice. Now, with the NFL, what are you going to do? I mean, all these teams have a lot more players. I think they have the most players on the sidelines of any sport, really. So, good luck having them in a hub. So, honestly, I hope that the NFL can figure it out. And hopefully, by the time next month comes around, we do see a 2020 NFL season. Or 2021, or 2020, 2021. I don't know how they call it, their seasons, but hopefully that'll work out. So far with the NHL and the NBA, I hear that COVID cases have not been they haven't had any. And so far it's because they're staying in their bubbles. This is awesome. And hopefully all of the sports leagues can do the right thing, do what they have to do to finish their seasons off successfully. That would be amazing to see. Now, in terms of the NHL, I know I did make at least one video about this. I think I've actually made a couple. Yeah, I think I did. And it has to do with the Calgary Flames. I must say, it's disappointing seeing them not able to wear their throwbacks. And my goodness, would it ever have been nice to see the Flames in both their throwback red and white uniforms for the playoffs. Now, they are advancing to the playoffs as they did defeat the Jets last night. And they did win their qualifying round series against Winnipeg. And Winnipeg was a beat-up team. However, is it possible Calgary can pull out their throwbacks now they're in the playoffs? I have my doubts on that one. If they said no to the qualifying round, that I would assume that means the entire duration that the Flames are in the playoffs. So, hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, unfortunately. Also, in terms of uniforms, should I talk about some jerseys a little bit? I must say, I am really tired of Minnesota not having home and away jerseys that match. I mean, it's great that they wear dark green again. That's a huge improvement. But I'd like to see them finally have a home jersey that matches their away jersey, because I still think that the only jersey that's really worth a damn, in my opinion, in the Minnesota Wild's history is their away jersey. And that stinks. I mean, I do think their home jersey is not terrible. But I think their home jersey would be better as something like a third jersey, in my opinion. Where it'd be cool if the Minnesota Wild had a dark green jersey that matched their away jersey. I would even be happy if they did one like that without a white shoulder yoke on the dark green jersey. I think something like that would be an improvement too. But personally, I think that what Minnesota should do is they should consider going back to being green and gold like the Minnesota North Stars were. Do I think we'll ever see the Minnesota Wild rebrand as the North Stars? No. I think it's a little bit too late now. But they've got a great logo, and I do think that Minnesota should consider going to forest green and gold. I think it's an awesome color scheme, If you do that color scheme with some simple striping, I think the Wild could have a pair of really nice home and away jerseys, and I think that would be a point where more people could accept them being the Minnesota Wild. Now, obviously, it's been 20 years now, but I agree with everybody. Their name choice was really bad. And I know there's people watching that are not going to like this opinion and what I'm about to say, but I actually believe that give it 5 or 10 years, there will be a lot of people thinking that Kraken was a poor choice of name for the Seattle NHL team. So I still think that Seattle Kraken was a horrible choice. But I do think that considering they went with the name Kraken, they did a great job with their logo. Their home jersey, in my opinion, is not my favorite, but it's certainly not terrible. Their away jersey, I'm not a fan of. Their logo is actually pretty decent, and for a team called the Seattle Kraken, I thought they were going to do something all-out ridiculous, and to keep it into an S with a silhouette of the Kraken's tentacle with the secret hidden red eye in the background. I think that the Seattle Kraken and Adidas do deserve a little bit of decent and well-deserved acknowledgement and praise for the fact that they took a horrible name, and in my opinion, they created one decent logo, at least in my opinion. But anyways, until my next Roundup video in a couple days from now, this is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is now my very first Roundup video as Rockzilla. So there we go. So anyways, folks, that's a wrap. Take care, and of course, as always, bye for now.